Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee, as usual. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and this is my review for Baller Y Season 1, Episode 2. You know, I thought Baller Wives was going to be just as petty and boring as Basketball Wives turned out to be, but little to the behold of my eyes, it's very, entertaining. I mean, it's a lot of fuckery and foolishness and bullshit going on, but at the same time, it's entertaining, as I said. So, let's get into this particular review. So, the episode starts off where the last one left off. All the ladies are still on top of this roof arguing. Kiafa, now I'm still getting used to these names, so, forgive me if I have, a memory issue. Stacy and Kiafa are still arguing. And Miko was asking Stacy, why don't you like Kiafa? And Kiafa, as y'all know, is Michael Vick's wife. Now, Michael Vick is the only player on this whole show that I know. I'm not a football person. I don't watch much football. I usually only know a football player because they got into some kind of trouble, or if they just happen to be a very, very popular player. Or if they're involved in something on social media. I know who Sierra's husband. I know who he is because he was dating Sierra and all that stuff. I know who Michael Vick is because he was fighting dogs and he went to jail and stuff like that. I know who Tom Brady is, basically, but I couldn't probably point him out of the lineup. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know who Reggie Bush is, because he was fucking Kim Kardashian. So, I don't know the husbands. I just know that Kiafa is Michael Vick's wife. Yeah. So, Stacy is basically saying the reason she doesn't like Kiafa is because, she phony, and she just doesn't want to be Kiafa's friend. But my thing is this: you don't have to be friends with her. You know what I'm saying? And but it's a TV show, so it's all for ratings basically, and people gonna love the fact that they don't like each other and that they don't get along. But a lot of people don't get along with their neighbors because their neighbors can just be aggravating. But Kiafa and Stacy whole issue is about a damn dog who chased her. But dogs do dumb shit like that. And, Kiafa, who supposedly didn't apologize, Kiafa should have goddamn gonna apologize. But the whole, I think she fake and I think she phony, and girl, bye. But Kiafa says, I don't want to be that bitch friend neither. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a friend. I don't like her. I don't care if we neighbors. I don't is the word, you know what I mean? I don't. Don't judge me. That's how I talk sometimes. Stacy is still saying, all y'all husbands. No, I think because I heard Miko say, well, what's your issue with Geneva? And the next thing that I heard Stacy say is, all y'all husbands cheat. Now, I don't know if that was a, cut and paste type of thing that production did, that maybe that wasn't what her next sentence was, but that's what they played on TV. She went from, why don't you like Geneva? All your husbands cheat. All your husbands do is cheat. But bitch, your current husband was cheating on his ex-wife, because when you started dating him, he had a wife in these streets. He had a whole wife. I'm moving the lamp around. He had a whole wife. And so your husband is a cheater too. All he did was cheat on his goddamn wife, and he ended up marrying your ass. So, you can't talk as if your husband is not included in the goddamn cheating category. We don't know if he cheated since he's been married to you, but we know he cheated on his wife and married you. So whatever. Even Geneva, because when Stacy was saying, all y'all husbands cheat, Geneva was like, but you fuck my husband. You know what I'm saying? Now, take it, as far as I know, they're saying that when Stacy slept with Geneva's husband, Geneva and the guy wasn't married yet. It was back in the day. But she was saying that, I don't know why she said that, because that don't mean she was fucking somebody's husband. I guess she was just still trying to make the point of, you was fucking people in cars behind alleys of strip joints. That's what she was saying. Stacy was even saying how everyone wants a Chris Chambers, everyone wants her husband. No, bitch, they don't, because again, your husband cheated on his first wife and married you. Who the fuck wants to? I don't want to marry a cheater. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to marry a man who I was cheating with, because you cheated on your wife. If you cheat on one wife, you might cheat on another. I don't know. They say people do change, but come on now. When Geneva was saying, well, you fuck my husband, Stacey kept on saying, I didn't fuck her dirty dick husband. How you know her husband dick dirty? You know what I'm saying? I mean, is this stories out in the news? How do you know her husband's dick is dirty? I wouldn't fuck her dirty dick husband. I wouldn't fuck her dirty dick husband. Why you keep saying dirty dick? And why you talking like that? For one, Stacey, you pregnant. Okay? You 7-8 months pregnant. Why you all hyped and in people's face yelling? That's just stupid. Because when somebody pop your ass, you're going to say, why you hit a pregnant woman? Bitch, get out my face if you're pregnant. Don't come up. I'm a firm believer. You do not attack pregnant women. You don't hit women. I'm also a firm believer in, if you come in my face with that bullshit, you might get popped. Okay, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to get popped, don't get in my face. If I don't start shit with you, don't start shit with me. Stacey started shit, so she can't use that whole, I'm pregnant. Well, you should have your pregnant ass here arguing. Take your pregnant ass home and come holler at me after you pop that goddamn baby out. So, they kind of arguing or whatever, and we see that Kiafa's friend, who was her, Kiafa's friend, what's that damn girl's name? I don't know the damn girl name, because I can't, Carmina. Kiafa's friend, Carmina, as they all kind of arguing or whatever, she throws a drink into Stacey's face. Now, what I can say is, she's a avid drink thrower. Because some people throw drinks and they throw the cup. They throw the cup and they throw the liquid all. No, she held the cup and just kept the cup in her hand, and she threw all the stuff on the pregnant girl. And she was like, and she then threw her whole glass and the liquid in it back at them. And it was kind of a little bit of a melee, a little bit of a situation. No one was fighting. No one swung on anyone. It was just, one person threw a drink, somebody else threw a drink, and then it seemed like security stepped in pretty quickly and just stood in between everybody. So it was, at that point, there's a whole bunch of yelling. And Miko, like, who would think to throw a drink on a pregnant lady? Like, how was you raised to assault a pregnant woman? Bitch, why is the fucking pregnant woman up in my goddamn face? Go ahead on somewhere. Go ahead on somewhere. Stacey isn't innocent, and they did not assault her. They threw a drink in her face. I mean, it's the same thing as if you outside and you got a water bottle, you toss the water on somebody. They didn't assault her. They didn't push her, hit her, shove her. They didn't hit her in her stomach. She threw a drink on her. But my thing is, you as a pregnant woman, you shouldn't have put yourself in that situation. I said in my last video, why you even there and you pregnant? That's stupid. Take your ass home. Holler at them after you bust that baby up out your vagina. But no, she want to go there and get all big and bad, and then want to be like, I'm pregnant. But bitch, you there. You know what I'm saying? And even after the drink was thrown, she still threatening the girl who tossed the drink, the girl whose name is Carmina. I'm gonna when I see you, bitch, every time I see you, it's on. You still yelling? The fact that you yelling and all stressed and got your pressure all up is endangering your child. You know what I'm saying? That's stress on your baby. So I think the whole thing I've been saying, you up here arguing and fussing and fighting, stressing your baby out, so you can't get mad if somebody throw a drink on you as if they kicked you in the stomach. You shouldn't have been there in the first fucking place, okay? Because you're pregnant, bitch. Stacey, go the fuck home. But it's too late because they threw a drink on you and you pissed off. So, after they, Stacey and them leave, the rest of the ladies, because Stacey left, Stacey and Miko both left together. And somebody else, I don't know who she is. But, Kiafa and the other ladies are there talking about, it's like, this is not what I wanted to happen. I'm trying to stay calm and cool. I don't know why she mad at me. Carmina, I'm still a little bit mad at you because why would you throw a drink at her? Carmina says, I threw it because I was pissed off about what she said about your mom. Stacey, Kiafa was saying, Stacey tripping because she took her meds. Stacey then said, your mama should take her meds. And then Kiafa said, my mama's dead. And then Stacey's reply was, good. Which I said was some fucked up ass shit to say. So the girl Carmina was saying she was mad that Stacey said that. because she was with Kiafa when her mom passed away. Her mom died, like, she's like, I watched, they watched her mother pass away over a span of like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Watching somebody, deteriorate until they pass away. It's like, and I'm pissed off because I was there with you when it happened. Kiafa like, well, yeah, I won't talk about that right now. I brought y'all here to tell y'all I'm pregnant. So the one thing I can say is at least the part that they showed about Kiafa. She wasn't yelling and ranting and raving. And even when things got too hyped, she's like, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm out of here. So I do feel like at least because she knew she was pregnant, she was trying to not, get involved in all the bullshit. But she's pregnant. Yay! Why two pregnant people on the roof arguing? Y'all both crazy. Next we see Miko is in the car with Stacy and they're trying to figure out what was said, basically. They were talking about, did you say something about her mom? And Stacy tried to play stupid, but you could see that she looked guilty as fuck. And she's like, I don't know what I was saying. I was just talking. I was just replying back and stuff. And in her confession, she was saying, well, so much was going on, and I couldn't physically do anything, so all I could do was add my words. I heard her say something about medication. I said, your mama should take medication, and she said something, but I don't know what she said back. And then I just said good. So you mean to tell me you heard everything she said except the fact that her mama was dead, but you heard everything else before and after that? No, you heard what she said, and you said good, and you realized it was fucked up, and you too proud to apologize for saying, I shouldn't have said that, I did go too far. You know what you said, you know what you did, you trying to play stupid. But, she was still saying, well, yeah, I didn't know her mama was dead. They're like, you sure you didn't know her mama was dead? No, I didn't know that. Oh, well, okay, well, yeah, well, you should have acted how you acted. See, that's that bullshit. I don't know why y'all wasn't telling her, Stacy, you shouldn't be doing that when you're pregnant. I get that you don't like that girl and y'all don't like each other, but you shouldn't be getting all hype and getting yourself in those kind of situations. You know what I'm saying? You should stay clear of people like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would have said to my pregnant friend. I get you don't like that bitch. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying you gotta be friends with her, but don't put yourself in those situations while you're pregnant, is what I would have said. Miko saying, I don't blame Stacy for how she reacted. Miko, you a fucked up ass person, and I can see I ain't gonna like you much. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm gonna fuck with you too much. Cause I'm like, bitch, what? She was acting crazy, and she's pregnant. She's 8 months pregnant in heels on the rooftop arguing. Now, what if it got so bad that she would have got into an argument and they pushed her off the goddamn roof? She dead, baby dead, everybody dead. You know what I'm saying? I mean, bitch, what? I don't like Miko. But then Miko saying, I can't believe they assaulted a pregnant woman. I am not a believer that if someone throws a drink in someone's face, it's an assault. Now, had she thrown the glass, oh, absolutely, that's assault. 100%, yes. Because you can throw an object at a person and, not expect it to be some kind of assault or battery charge. But she didn't throw the glass, she threw the liquid. And, it's a different thing. That girl wasn't assaulted, though. Don't take it that far. So, we do see Kiafa. She goes to the doctor. I'm going to make this one real quick. Kiafa goes to the doctor. She is pregnant. She has a high-risk pregnancy because her last child was 9 years old. She said while she was having the baby, her uterus ruptured. So, her doctor told her then, you shouldn't have any more kids. It'd be very dangerous. You could die. So she's like, I thought I couldn't have any more kids, but here I am 9 years later, and I'm pregnant. So her doctor also says to her, you can't be stressed. You can't be, going through things. You have to stay calm because if not, it can be deadly for you and the baby. Yeah, so that's next. We see a little something where Miko is throwing Stacy a baby shower. Even though Stacey says she don't like baby showers. But bitch, I'm keeping my gift, okay? If you don't like baby showers, and because the baby shower is to shower the person with gifts, okay? So if you don't like baby showers, then bitch, you don't want my gift. So bitch, fuck you. So we see that Stacy's best friend is supposed Crystal is introduced. Now she's the baby mama of a current football player named Ray Armstrong. Something was up with them. Something where she said, they weren't together, how they broke up. He wasn't being respectful. So it probably means he was cheating. We see how, it was a quick scene too, because Miko was like, okay, do we want to open the gifts? And Stacy didn't want to open the gifts. But I'm like, usually at baby showers, people open gifts. So she's like, well, I want one girl said, well, I want you to open mine, and she opens it, and it was like some crystals. It like some healing crystals, some stay calm crystals, and it's like, what you trying to say about my baby? I mean, bitch, she raised her and said, you evil and your baby needs some peace. So, yeah. What else? What else? They do bring up the whole rooftop incident. You know, someone throwing a drink, and Miko saying how she was upset that Kiafa didn't check her friend. But bitch, y'all left right after the drink was thrown, so you don't know what she did. So how can you say that you mad at her for not doing something when you just stuck around to see if she did it? Because when the drink was thrown, security jumped in and broke up everything. So again, I ain't gonna like Miko. We see the next person introduced. I'm gonna call her the girlfriend of Minnie. Okay, she's, you know, these type of shows always have like wives, girlfriends, you know, baby mamas, and then the girls who have just dated people in the league. So she's the girlfriend of Minnie. So her name is Emily, and it's spelled differently. I thought that was cool. And she says, you know, she dated a few athletes. She has 2 kids. She used to be a video vixen. She then runs down, well, I was in so-and-so's video, and so-and-so's video, and so-and-so's video. And in my head, I kept on thinking, I wonder, like, you know, you would pass around? Like, were you just, like, being out? Because when she said I dated a lot of players, I'm like, how many? You know what I'm saying? But whatever. She's meeting up with Kiafa, basically talking to Kiafa about her baby daddy, who is basically denying their child together. She has a baby by a player called Larry Fitzgerald. Just to let y'all know, I Googled the baby daddies. I didn't notice. I Googled it as I was typing up notes. Said that they messed around for 9 years, you know, and that when they had the baby, they weren't the couple that he had already picked to be with someone else. So technically, she was like a side something. I'm not sure what it was, but it's a side something. But she's saying that now he is basically denying their child. Not like he's denying to take care of it or whatever, but if someone asks him if he has a baby with her, he acts like he don't know what they're talking about. And she like, you know, when I talk to him, he says, well, it's because I don't want anybody else in our personal business. I see that, but at the same time, that ain't why he really doing it. You know, you do have some people who do like to keep their private life private. But if you have other children that you discuss, for you not to want to discuss one child, you ain't trying to keep your personal life private. You trying to keep something a secret. Okay? And she's like, you know, because of that, I told him I don't even want to talk to him. You know, I don't want to be around him. Kiafa tells her that, you know, you can't be a bitter baby mama. You know, and you can't. And she didn't mean that as being, you know, don't be bitter in general. She meant like you can't be bitter, and because you mad at him, want to keep him away from the child, and you don't want to talk to him about the child. But my thing is, if he trying to deny the baby, what are they gonna talk about? You know, I don't know. Next we see Crystal and Stacy talking. They're supposedly best friends. We then find out that Crystal and the girl Emily, who was just saying that her baby daddy was denying her child, has beef. Mainly because Emily called Crystal a homewrecker. And she's like, you know, that ain't what I am. But she's saying that because they did, in fact, fuck the same player at the same time. But she was saying that she didn't know Emily was with the guy or whatever. Saying that she like, I'm never a homewrecker. I've never fucked anybody's husband or boyfriend. You know, that ain't what I do. I've never been with someone knowingly that was with someone else. She was like, I didn't know this. I'm choking. I didn't know this person was with her at the time, but we did sleep with the same person. But that'll make me a homewrecker. You know, it wasn't a home to wreck. Then she go into because she don't want it with me because, you know, Miko and them, or Geneva invited me to this whole yacht thing, and I heard she gonna be there, and she don't want to argue with me because my friends have all the dirt, all the secrets. I can tell all kind of stuff. For instance, you know, my friend told me she got a hush baby, and they's like, well, what's the hush baby? It's like, well, the guy she had it with is not acknowledging the child in public, so the baby is a secret. These bitches is messy. The next thing we see is the ladies are on the yacht. So they are now on this yacht party. Why did my nose just pop off? Yeah, so they're on the yacht party. And the thing that I did notice is the yacht that they're on. It's the same yacht that they had on the Basketball Wives episode where Evelyn and all them went on the boat. The only difference is this time the boat left the dock. You know, on Basketball Wives, the boat never left the goddamn dock. But this is the same boat, and it looks like the exact same area, and, you know, the same boat. So either they rented the same boat, someone owns the same boat, or it's just a part of the whole story thing. But yeah, they all was on the yacht, and, you know, we come to find out on the yacht, this is what happens. Miko doesn't like this one girl, Asia, who both of their husbands are former players, and we know that Emily don't like Crystal. So we find out Miko's issue with Asia is that she says she don't like Asia because Asia's husband called her like a bad radio person. So when Asia walk on the boat and they're like, oh, I forgot you was coming, Asia, haha, you know, whatever. Miko like, because she's forgettable. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, already being shady, you know, from the beginning. So yeah, Miko's saying like Miko's saying that Asia's husband badmouthed her a couple years ago when they both worked for the same radio station, and was saying how she was a bad radio person, and she blames Asia's husband for getting her fired, and it's like a couple years ago. You know, so she said for that reason she don't like his wife. Now, see, I feel two different ways about that. First of all, bitch, I don't have shit to do with what my husband say about you on the radio. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and people know on radio sometimes people say crazy stuff. But you can't blame the spouse for that. You know what I'm saying? And if you do, let's have a conversation about it because we're fucking adults. So, I mean, what the hell? But again, how you mad at someone's wife for I mean, you not, it ain't, I can see if the wife co-signed it, but you mad at the wife for something the husband said. I mean, to me, that's crazy. But on the other hand, I get it because that's still the person's family. So you assume in some form or fashion they agree with what their spouse said. I'm sorry, my eye itches. So, but I'm like, that's the whole crazy reason to not like a person is based on something that their spouse said at work. I mean, at work, bitch. Asia's like, look, my husband, she said, my husband didn't really badmouth her, but my husband did say, you know, that he didn't feel like she was a good radio person. That was his opinion. She's like, you know, but also, you know, my husband don't think about her like that. Like he didn't have the power to get her fired. He don't care. And again, this is a couple years ago. She like, my husband don't even think about her as a real host. So I don't see why she's having an issue with me and why she's taking out her anger issues with my husband on me when I have nothing to do with it. So from that, we see Emily and Crystal having their issues. And they basically got into an argument pretty fast between them two, where Crystal's saying, well, someone called me a homewrecker because, you know, and I ain't a homewrecker, I don't do this and I don't do that. And they're like, well, who called you a homewrecker? And so she's like, she did. So they all go like, you called her a homewrecker? And she's like, well, yeah. She was a girl sleeping with my man, so I consider her a homewrecker because she was sleeping with him behind my back. And also because she called my child a hush baby. And Crystal like, well, you know, I didn't say that. My friend said that. But, you know, but I'm like, bitch, you repeated it. So I hate when people say, I didn't say that. Just because you didn't start a rumor, if you said it or spreaded it or told someone else, you said it. No one said that you created it, that it came from you first, but you said it, and we know you said it because you said it to Stacy, that I heard she got a hush baby. So you did say that, but it doesn't mean that you started that whole rumor. You know what I'm saying? But you talking about it to people. And then, you know, she was like, well, it ain't my baby, so I don't care. I don't know your baby. And they going back and forth. And to me, it was dumb. It was childish. It was petty. Kiafa and the other ladies kind of get them to quiet down. She like, look, I just feel like kids should be off limits. Can y'all agree? If y'all gonna talk stuff about each other, cool, but leave y'all kids out of it. So they agree to not do that, and they kind of agree to, leave it at that. Not that they friends or nothing like that. So as they kind of squashing their stuff, Asia say, well, it's funny to me that Miko acting like, everyone should be able to work through their issues and fix their issues. But man, you have issues that we can't even fix. And Miko like, well, no, our issues can be fixed. It can be fixed. It's just kind of crazy. And she's like, well, let's go, and have a conversation. Let's go somewhere else and have a conversation. So they get up and they go away. Now, in Miko's confessional, she like, Asia reminds me of a rat that just won't go away. It go away a little bit, but it's still always there, and it's still really itchy. And then when it comes back, it spreads everywhere. Bitch. So, Asia's like, look, when I see you, I speak to you, I try to always be nice to you. I don't get what the issue is. And she's like, well, basically, I don't like you because I don't like your husband. And she's like, how can I be friends with you when your husband, said I sucked at my job? And, Asia like, I don't have anything to do with that. I didn't say that. My husband said that. I also don't have anything to do with what he does at work. I can't control what he does at work, but his opinion don't have nothing to do with me. She's like, you basically taking your anger out that you have against my husband on me, and that's not fair to me because I didn't do anything. Which is honestly true. Even if you don't like my husband, you don't have to be mean to me. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be mean to my ass. You can just not like my husband. I had nothing to do with that. Miko then gets out of pocket. And she like, also, my son don't like your son. And, they had 2 fights at school. And my son told me he beat your son up. Again, why you bringing kids into it? And Asia gets offended. She's like, my son said that, he's friends with your son, so I don't know what you're talking about. And the confessional agent say, our sons go to private school. At our school, they tell us everything that happens every day. So I find it weird that she telling me that my son had 2 fights that I had no idea about. I think she just bullshitting, which is true. My nephew goes to a private charter school here, and whenever anything happens, the teachers tell my sister all the fucking time. No matter how little, small, big, no matter what it is. Especially if it's a fight. It don't matter if the person, if the other kid started it, if my nephew started it, they always tell the parent every single thing. So I agree with Asia saying, ain't no way our sons, who are the 2 of the only black kids in their class, got into 2 fights, and they didn't tell the parents. That only your son told you. But she also was like, then Miko starts going in deeper about like, with your son, he be in timeout, he be bad. And again, Asia like, I don't want you talking about my son. I don't think that you should be telling kids adult things, because Asia then said, well, I talked to my son about not liking you. Asia was like, well, I'm sorry, Miko said how she tells her son about her not liking Asia and Asia's family. So my thing is, if you're telling your son that you don't like this family, he could be acting out towards the other kid because his mama telling him that she don't like the family. Asia's upset, and she's saying, I don't want you, talking to your kid about my family. I don't think you should be, telling him about adult stuff. Their kids are 5 and 6. Who tells their 6-year-old or their 5-year-old about adult issues, how you don't like someone else's parent? Who the fuck does that? Miko, I can't fuck with you. I just feel like Miko's crazy. So they kind of say, well, look, we'll leave our kids out of it. Let's hug it out, or we can discuss whatever else later. But Asia, like, I gave her a fake hug because I'm pissed and I'm just over it. So the next thing that we see is Asia talk with her husband, Channing. And they ask their son. Now, their son is 5. And at 5 years old, you always fussing and fighting with the kids in school. And it's not even really a fight. Y'all just fight over the damn monkey bars, or somebody ate my clay. It's not even like a real issue, as if your kids is 14 to 15 or 15 to 16, and it's a real fight or a real beef or whatever you want to call it. So they're asking their son, like, hey, how was school? He's like, oh, it was good. And they're like, how are you? And I think the other kid's name is Aiden. He's like, yeah, we're fine. We're friends. And he's like, so y'all don't have any issues? Like, y'all okay? He's like, yeah, like a regular kid. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, that's weird. But the pink Asian, her husband, Channing, was like, okay, that's good. You know, Channing then goes to say, yes, he and Miko did work at the same radio station. He also says, but Miko got fired 2 years ago. Bitch, you mad about something that happened 2 years ago? I got fired before, and you get over it. You get over it. You're an adult, bitch. What the? Oh my god. So anyway, he says, I had no power to get her fired. He was like, yes, I did say that I did not think she was, talented in that aspect of being on the radio. I didn't like her style on the radio. I did say that. He like, but I had no power to get her fired. He was like, I was concerned with getting my own check. So why would I be concerned about trying to get somebody else, what somebody else doing? It was like, that's just not what I was trying to do. I was trying to get my check. But I did say that, I didn't like her on radio. But everyone has said that before about a radio person. Here in Michigan, we have like 3 like R&B hip hop stations. I don't like one of them. You know what I'm saying? I listen to it. I don't like some of the people. Like, I don't like the morning show people on one station, so I listen to the other. And even, let's say, even for in New York, how you have, Hot 97, and you have the Breakfast Club people. You know what I'm saying? You have it's 2 different shows and how they kind of be beef. It was 107 and 105, whatever. I can't think of what it is right now. But, the Breakfast Club against the Hot 97, Ebro and them. They don't like each other either. But, you know what I'm saying? You just don't listen to who you don't like. It's that simple. So, yeah. The next thing we see is Miko talking to her 6-year-old son. And, she's asking him how he's getting along with Asia's son. And he like, we're good. We're fine. She says, well, are you guys friends? Do you want to be his friend? He's like, yeah, I want to be his friend. I hope we can be friends. I hope that we can do good. He didn't sound like a kid who was saying, I don't like that boy. We keep getting into fights. We beefed out, and I hope we can be better. He was like a regular 6-year-old saying, we fine. We okay. The same thing as Asia's son said. This crazy bitch then says, remember when I told you how I didn't like Asia's family because they were saying mean things? Remember I told you that? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, well, I don't think I want to be his mom's friend. I think she's fake. I don't like her, and I don't want to be her friend. I said to myself, this bitch is bonkers. Is you really telling your 6-year-old son how you don't like another parent from his school who he's friends with the damn kid? Bitch, you got to be fucking kidding me. I was so pissed off. Because my thing is, you are basically pitting 2 kids against each other. You're putting it in that, you're trying to put it in his head to not like that family. Because you saying to him, I don't like the family. I think they fake. And you trying to make it seem as if he don't have to like them either. So when she said that, he said, well, Mom, it's not my decision. He said, that's not my decision if you like them or not. And she's like, well, no, I know, but I'm asking your opinion on what I should do. You are a grown woman. You have adult friends. You have an adult husband. You have, I'm sure, access to therapists and whoever else you need to talk to. Why is you taking this adult issue to your 6-year-old son? Why are you, even if you say that your son is intelligent beyond his years, he thinks like an adult, he's a fucking 6-year-old. He is a 6-year-old kid. My nephew is 11, and I know every day he is, very, very well beyond an 11-year-old. But my nephew is still 11, and we still treat him like an 11-year-old. When my nephew was maybe 3, he said to myself, Mom, I like those crinkles in your hair. And I said, DJ, how did you know those were called crinkles? And he said, I just knew it. So I'm like, my nephew's smart as hell. He's always been very smart. But my nephew is still a child, so we still keep him in a child's place because he's a child. We don't bring him into adult situations. Miko, why the fuck would you bring your 6-year-old child into an adult situation to go as far to say, I don't like your friend's mama. I don't like your friend's family. I think what? I was so pissed. He told his mom, ignore the bad things and look at the good things. It's a damn shame that you have to take advice from a 6-year-old. because he shouldn't even know about adult issues at all. I was so mad at that. Like, that's the dumbest shit ever. He then said before we went on commercial, I don't know how to deal with you. I bet you don't, little boy. Because your mama is, oh, she's some shit. So the last scene that we see of the episode is Asia's having this big open house because she's a realtor. And it was a beautiful, beautiful mansion. It was like a 10-bedroom home, and it was worth like maybe like 7-something million or whatever. I can't afford that shit. But it was a beautiful, beautiful mansion. So she was having an open house. Now, me myself, I wouldn't have an open house and invite my friend. To me, it seemed more like a party. But I know when you have open houses, you do want to have people come look at the house so that potential buyers can see the potential of it. Like, oh, I can entertain here. It's all the space. It looks so great. So I get that. But I'm not inviting people I don't get along with at all. Because if they get pissed off and break something, then I got to get it fixed. I mean, it's someone else's home. So, she didn't invite Miko. The other ladies were there as well, but I'm not going to talk about that. This is more about them two. So, it was a scene where, so Miko's coming in. She's saying, Asia better get her husband to apologize to me. Like, she has to do that. I'm coming here to get my apology. Whatever. They weren't, and she wasn't there long, before they, had a little conversation. So, it was like as Asia was walking upstairs with some of the other ladies, Miko was coming in, and she was walking downstairs, and they kind of met in the middle. So Asia's like, oh, hey. She gave her like a little hug. And then Miko said, well, where y'all going? Oh, we're going to see the bedroom. You want to come? She's like, oh, sure. So in the confession, Miko like, why is this bitch being fake? I can't stand fake ass bitches. I mean, you forget she's at her open house. She can't be arguing with you or fussing and fighting with you. Of course she's going to be on her best behavior because she's trying to sell a goddamn house. But you so damn petty and stupid, you can't even see that she not being fake. She just not being crazy and trying to argue with you. It's an event, okay? You act like you have sense at an event, even if you're around someone who you are at odds with, I'll say. So they all go into the room, and it was, I don't know, Kiafa was there, and I think Geneva was there too. There was a couple other ladies there, and they're all walking around. And Miko is saying, wait. So now Miko saying her issue with it is that Asia told her how to raise her son, how to be a parent to her kid. So Asia because they're in a room talking, and they're like, okay, now what's the issue or whatever. And so Miko well, because I don't appreciate how she told me, how to parent my child. And the Asia said, well, no, you said that you told your child about grown-up issues between us, and I said I feel like you shouldn't do that. But I wasn't saying how you should parent your child. It's like you parent your child how you want to, the same way I parent my child how I want to. I wouldn't tell my child adult things. So they were kind of going back and forth a little bit, and Asia repeats she's like, look, my whole point is I don't want you talking to your son about me, and I don't want you talking about my son. It's simple as that. And I feel like you're attacking my family. You went from saying that you don't like my husband to that your son don't like my son. I thought you going, you picking off my family one by one. I can see her point, because if you do say in one breath, I don't like your husband, and then the next conversation is my son don't like your son, it do seem like you could be possibly attacking her family. But I just feel like Miko's a petty bitch, and she's looking for a reason to not like Asia because of what her husband said. So, Miko was even saying how Asia was a coward for talking to her like that when she was there by herself. You mean because you ain't there with Stacy, you feel like you by yourself? And who cares? I'm just like, oh my God, I can't take Miko serious. So at that point, Asia no, I think Geneva said, maybe y'all should have a conversation and y'all should include y'all husbands. They're like, okay, cool. So we see Asia go off to get her husband and say, hey, Miko was saying some things, so we said we should just all get together and have a conversation. And then we see Miko go talking to her husband, well, she just tried to attack me and talking about how I'm trying to take down her family and how I'm trying to go one person by person. And she's making it a little bit more dramatic than what it has to be. She could have said, we had a conversation up there, we having a disagreement and we want to have a conversation. You know, we want you to be here too because she's getting her husband, and that could have been it. So as she's saying, because if you have a problem with me, we should discuss it. So as she's saying that, Asia and her husband are walking up, and then the episode goes off. So we have to wait until next week to see their confrontation. We do see a preview where Asia's husband says, I did say I thought you was a radio person. I admit that because you were. That's my opinion. I'm like, okay, go ahead, husband. Be your honest self. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't like her, you don't like if you don't like her radio style, you don't like her. Like, people might not like how I do my reviews, but some people do. I'm not going to say I don't like this person because they don't like how I do my reviews. Then don't watch me. You know what I'm saying? If he didn't like your radio style, he just didn't like it, and that's what it was. So, that's my review of Baller Wives. I can say the season is interesting, and it's only episode 2. Even though I think the parts that is interesting is still crazy as hell. It's still, to me at least, it doesn't seem so much like fake shit how Basketball Wives be. So, for right now it's entertaining. So we shall see what happens in the next episode that I will review. So, I am Jay Lee. This is Jaylee's Corner. Until next time, people. Peace.